and Jesus desired some time alone to pray. So he instructed his followers to board a boat and sail to the opposite side of the Sea of Galilee. Jesus desired some alone time to pray. Matthew 14:22. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. The disciples were ordered by Jesus to get into the boat and travel ahead of him. They were in God's perfect will and about to enter a perfect storm, demonstrating that following God can sometimes be difficult. Nonetheless, it is only possible for it to reach you because of divine design and permission. Matthew 14:23 and 24. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves, because the wind was against it. When the boat was far from the shore, they were battered by the waves, because the wind was against them. And where was Jesus? He'd gone up the mountain by himself to pray. Though Jesus was absent from them, he wasn't unmindful of their needs. Paul told the Romans that Jesus intercedes for believers. His full-time job is serving as the intercessor between you and God, and he's the perfect one to do it, because he's fully God and fully human. He understands God, and he understands you. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." In the middle of the disciples' sorrow, Jesus approached them on the sea, walking. Their difficulty was the raging seas, and that's exactly what Jesus walked on. He appeared to them in an unexpected way. Jesus exhibited his divine control over the universe he created, as he had done previously. When the disciples became concerned because they mistook him for a ghost, he soothed them with his words before addressing their situation. Matthew 14:28 through 32. "Lord, if it is you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. And Peter
Giving you